Hey yo, how we all doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. But my face ain't, man. My face is starting to look more and more chubby. I guess that's the DECA kicking in, or just the bloat from the food and everything. But hey, that's a-okay. You need to sacrifice a little bit of leanness if you want to get big. And that's the goal. That's the goal every single day, not this off season or this champ season, as I like to call it. But today's topic that I want to touch on is high versus low volume. What's better? What should you do? What am I doing? What do I think? And honestly, I think high volume is king for everyone that's a beginner or that's a new lifter. For me, new lifter is anything under 5 years of lifting experience. If you are in that category, then high volume is the king for you because you are new at this, you are developing a skill. Lifting weights is a skill in my eyes, like anything else in life that you're doing with your hands, or you know, how do I call it? Uh, yeah, just anything that you're doing with your hands, feet, or your body. You're doing something, you're developing a skill. Lifting weights is a skill, and you need time, you need reps, and that's how you will get better at it. If I told you that I wanted to learn to play a guitar, and I told you, hey, okay, I'm gonna play the guitar 7 days a week, 5 hours a day, for example, and I told you that in other scenario, I'm gonna play the guitar every other day for like 30 minutes. What do you think? Doing option number one or option number two? How will I get better? I mean, which will get me faster to my goal of learning to play the guitar? Of course, 7 days a week, 5 hours a day, because the more you put in, the more you get out. And that's the same thing in bodybuilding and lifting weights, especially in the beginning, man, because you're completely new to this thing. You don't know anything. So, high volume is king. You need, 15 plus working sets. I mean, working sets, not warm up sets. Your heavy working sets to failure, you need at least 15 per muscle group per week, in my opinion. And as you get better and better at it, as you progress and you have more than like 5 years of lifting experience, then you should start looking at your volume and maybe lowering it, because you might not be recovering from session to session. But honestly, like 3 to 5 years, and completely new guys should stick to high volume, in my opinion. That's how I look at things, and that's how I started, and I'm glad I did it that way. Right now, what I'm doing is completely different. I have some body parts, for example, my strongest body parts, which are my legs. I have like only 6 working sets of it per week for quads and for hams. I'm only doing 6 working sets. No intensifiers, no drop sets, nothing. 6 straight working sets for my quads and my hams, and they're still improving because that's my strongest body part. I connect with it well, and honestly, what I can do in one set right now is something that would have taken me 5 sets like 5, 6, 7 years ago, to be honest. So yeah, that's my reasoning for high volume, and that's my reasoning why high volume is better. You do what you want. That's just my opinion. As you get better at it, like I already said, you will need to look at things differently and maybe try a different approach, because there are not a lot of there's not a lot of guys at the top, especially in bodybuilding, that are doing super high volume, like 20 working sets per muscle group per week. There's not a lot of them. There are some, but not a lot of them. Right now, when I think about it, there's like Justin Compton comes to my mind, Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, but those are genetic anomalies. I think those guys, whatever they did, they would grow. So, but with all that said, the most important thing is, are you having fun? I know I was, training for like 2.5 hours with my friends when I first started going to the gym. That was freaking fun, man. So do high volume, have fun at the beginning. Later on, review your training, and you will probably need to lower your volume because you have developed a skill at lifting the weight, and you're much better at it, and you're much more efficient at it. So that's my opinion on it. Let's now go train biceps. I'll just film the biceps part of the workout so the video ain't too long. And yeah, let me quickly go over that. So I'm doing 3 movements, I think 8 sets overall. 2 exercises are 3 working sets. 1 exercise is 2 working sets. And for me, what I realized the key is doing more free weights. Why free weights? Because with free weights, for example, when I grab a dumbbell, it can force me into supination, and I have problems going into supination. Maybe it's from all the years of gaming when I was younger and I was just holding the mouse like this. I was in pronation all the time, and now I'm having trouble going into supination. So with dumbbells, I can force my hand to go into supination. I keep all the tension from the dumbbell right here. It forces me into supination, and I'm feeling my biceps much better. So yeah, that's one thing I realized. So for this bulk, this off season, this champ season, I will keep on forcing a lot of free weight movement for the buys. There will be, arm supported, some preacher curls and things like that, but there will be a lot of dumbbell and barbell movements. Let's go, let's train, man. Okay, first one for the buys. Barbell or a straight bar. Some type of a preacher curl. I don't know if a preacher curl is only when it's angled. Can you call this a preacher curl? I think you can, so let's call it a no angle preacher curl as the first movement for the buys. Ooh. Also, when I'm doing biceps, my first movement I always like to do, I will throw in movements where there's no arm support and things like that, but I always like to do my first movement with some type of arm support, since my muscle connection is not that great with my biceps. This type of things, having an arm support really helps me connect with the biceps, get a nasty pump, and then everything else after that is just much easier to connect with. So let's go. Here 2 sets, 10 to 15 reps on each set, and off to the next one. Okay, nice. One more thing, as I'm curling the weight, I'm consciously thinking about pushing my arm into this pad so I don't use any momentum. If I have to apply some counter force into the pad, that way I feel like my arm is more stable and I get more tension on my biceps. Give it a try. Second one for the buys, 3 sets, 8 to 12 on the first 2 sets, last set maybe up the reps a little bit, 12 to 15, and that's pretty much it. Again, another exercise where I have some arm support to help me demolish the biceps this session. And also this time around I'm using a dumbbell, so with the dumbbell I'm applying pressure right here, underneath my pointer finger. Yeah, that's the name, I think. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Applying the pressure here, forcing my arm into supination, and then doing as much as I can on my own to force my arm into a supination, so get a nice contraction at the top. Honestly, this tip has been a total game changer for me. I've never ever felt my biceps like this before, just about doing that one simple cue and holding the dumbbell in a specific type of way, where I'm forced to go into a supination, trying even on my own to go there. And I don't know, yeah, give it a try if you have troubles growing your arms, especially your biceps. And also you can see the grip on the dumbbell right here. So let's go. Okay. Nice. Okay. I did 2 exercises where my arms were in front of me. Now I want to do something where my arms are beside my body or a little bit behind, you could say. So I hit the biceps from all the different angles, you know, and all the different heads of the biceps. I need to hit those also, so that's why I chose this exercise. Also, again, dumbbells helps me supinate. Again, nasty contraction I get here. I like it. I did this last time I had an arm day, and the soreness and the pump was insane. So I'm just gonna repeat that and stick to this type of biceps routine on my arm day. Whew. On my other day of the week where I train buys, I will throw in some hammer curls since I ain't doing none of those today. But yeah. Whew. Okay, let's go. Here, same thing as on the previous one. 3 sets, 8, 12, 10 to 15 on the last one. Let's go. Let's work. Okay. Whew. Okay, that wasn't on my plan, but I felt good, so I did 3 extra negatives. So I developed that mind-muscle connection even more. Skill. I developed that skill of lifting, of training my biceps. More reps, more forced reps, more negatives. High volume, guys. Okay, that's it for the buys. Now I'm off to do some tries. I'll see you later in about 2 seconds. Okay, workout done. Did some tries. Same thing, 8 sets, 3 exercises like I did for buys, and then after that I did a little bit of back, and that's it. Workout is done, man. Whew. Today I was at a different gym, a gym that I don't usually go to, and a gym where nobody knows me, and that's a huge plus right now. And sometimes because I like to be in the zone. Sometimes when I train, I don't want to talk to people. I don't even want to say hi to people. Sometimes there are those workouts. There are those times when I want to have those workouts, and this is a lifesaver. You know, a gym where nobody knows me. I don't say hi to anyone. Nothing. I just say hi to the guy at the front desk or girl, whoever's working. You know, I'm always polite, nice. You know, but if I don't know you, I ain't gonna engage in a conversation. I'm just gonna keep my head down, keep walking in between sets, and do my thing. And that's one thing I wanted to say. What I tried, not what I tried, what I did a couple of times that I trained here, I said, okay, let me walk in between my sets, you know, 2-3 minutes as I'm resting, and then let me uh, let me check the step count that I have at the end of my workout. So I did that a couple of times, and I got 7K steps in a workout, freaking uh, which is freaking a lot, man. Now that I think about it, you know, if I'm cutting and I need to get my NEAT up, you know, non-exercise activity thermogenesis up through steps, this is a good way to do it, you know, walking in between sets in the gym. In the gym only I get 7K. You know, throughout the day you can get a couple of more thousand, do some cardio, and that's the, you know, that's all you need to do on a cut. So yeah, pretty good thing, man. I mean, I don't need to do as much steps right now when I'm in the off season. I still want to stay active, you know, have those 10-minute walks in between meals, but no need to get like 7K steps in hour and 15 minutes, hour and 30 minutes that I'm in the gym. But yeah, pretty nice way to drop some body fat, you know, and get leaner. If you are not doing it already, try doing it. And you know, if you're stuck, maybe you're in a deficit right now and you're stuck, just try adding that in. Don't talk to anyone, you know, just walk in between steps, say hi to people, of course, you know, if you know someone, but keep on walking in between your sets, and I bet you will get leaner just from that. Keep your food the same, keep cardio the same, everything else keep the same, just do this. 7K steps will push up your fat loss 100%. But yeah, that's the end of today's workout. What did we learn in today's video? High volume is king for newer lifters. As you get more and more in experience, you will probably need to go to moderate or low volume type of training with more frequency, because you won't be able to recover, you know, if you're training balls to the wall, all out, you know, 15-20 sets per session for a body part. Whew. Couple of people, there are a couple of Olympians and a couple of professional bodybuilders that can do that. Not a lot, but there are a few. Maybe you're the next one. Give that also a try, but most likely you will need to drop off the volume as you get bigger, and as you get better at the skill of lifting weights. So yeah, and for buys, of course, focus on supination. That's the key, at least for me. Maybe that will help you out. And yeah, man, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a comment, like, share, do all of that. You know, I appreciate every comment that I get, every like that I get, every view that I get. So thank you so much. I'm out. Peace out.